Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 8 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab, scroll to grade 8 math, and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter proportional relationships. The lessons we're going to cover today are find the constant of proportionality from a table, identify graphs of proportional relationships, and find the constant of proportionality from a graph. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. So here I'm on grade 8 math. The chapter we are on right now is proportional relationships. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is find the constant of proportionality from our table. This table shows how the total number of quizzes Shannon has ever taken in high school depends on the number of weeks she has attended school this quarter. So you are given a table that shows the quizzes Shannon has taken, that has the number of weeks that represents X, and then the total number of quizzes that represents Y. How many quizzes does Shannon take per week? You need to find the quizzes she takes per week, right? So that would be yx. That is the constant of variation for both the values. You need to calculate y by x, and y by x is 5. The correct option is 5. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. This table shows how the total number of books Manuel has read depends on the number of months he has been part of a book club. How many books does Manuel read each month? So which is the correct option? You have to find the constant of variation, that is y by x. So that would be, you need to divide the values y by x for both the values, 7 over 7 and 15 over 15. So the correct option is one book. Got it? Option number 1 is the correct option, that is one book. How the total pages of notes in Henry's notebook depends on number of hours he spent in class. How many pages of notes does Henry take during an hour of class? Which is the correct option? You need to find the constant of variation. So to find the constant of variation, you need to do y by x for both values, right? That would be the constant value. So y by x is for the first table, that is 10 by 2, and for the second one, that is 15 by 3. So the correct option is 5 times 5 is 10 and 3 times 5 is 15. So the constant of variation is 5 pages. Option number 1 is the correct option. Got it? That is 5 pages. This table shows how the amount of tape Mary has used is related to the number of presents she was wrapped. How many centimeters of tape does Mary use to wrap each present? So, which is the correct option? The correct option is yes, 3 centimeter. Option number 1 is the correct option. The table shows how the total number of quizzes Lauren has ever taken in high school depends on the number of weeks she has attended school this quarter. How many total quizzes does Lauren take per week? So, which is the correct option? That is 4 quizzes. Option number 2 is the correct option. The table shows how the cost of Cooper's Kitchen picnic depends on the number of attendees. What is the cost per attendee? Which is the correct option? The correct option is yes, that is $2. The cost of the per attendee cost is $2. Option number 1 is the correct option. This table shows how the cost of a corporate team building event depends on the number of attendees. So, what is the cost per attendee? Which is the correct option? The cost per attendee is $4. Option number 2 is the correct option. This table shows how the length of Josh's essay depends on the number of hours he spent writing this week. How many pages does Josh write per hour? The correct option is 1 page. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is identify graphs of proportional relationships. This equation describes a relationship between x and y equals 6x, right? So first thing is you need to complete the table. You have the question marks here. You need to complete this table, right? So you are given the equation y equals 6x. You need to complete this equation. You need to substitute the values of you can like for here you need to replace x with 0. So 6 times 0 is 0. That means when x is 0, y here you need to find the value of y when x equals 3. So you need to do 6 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18. So when x is 3, got it. Now you have completed the table. You need to plot a graph now. Have a pair of values. The x and y values makes a pair. That is 0, 0, 1, 6 to 3, 18, right? So you need to plot these valuable. This is the first value that is 0, 0. This is when x is 1. This is when x is 2, y is 12. And this is the value when x is 3 and y is 18. So proportional relationships always have a graph that is exactly a straight line. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Let's see how do we complete the table and plot a graph. This equation describes a relationship between x and y. So you are given the equation that is y equals 2x, right? You need to complete the table, but the table is already completed, right? These are the values that are missed. Let me just explain how do you complete. The equation is 2x, y equals 2x, right? You are given the x equals 2, you need to find the y value. So complete, replace the x with 2 times 2 is 4. So that means when x is 2, y is 4, right? So when x is 4, you have to do 2, that is 8. Option number. Now you have to plot these values. So basically they make a pair of value that is 1 and 2 is 1, y is 2. When x is 2, y is 4. When x is 6. When x is 4, y is 8. You need to plot these table of values on the graph, these both the graph values, right? Okay, when x is 1, when x is 1, y is 2. Here you have x is 1, y is 2. When x is 2, y is 4. So option number 2 is the correct option. Basically, you have to compare the table with the values. Here you have x is 1, y is 2, x is 2, y is 4, x is 3, y is 6, and these are all 4 points. So option number 2 is the correct option. Got it? The correct option is option number 2. Okay, the next one is the equation describes the relationship between x and y equals 3x. The correct option. The table of values are 0, 0, pair of values here 0, 0, 1, 3, 2, 6. Option number one is the correct option, right? The correct option is option number one. Okay, this equation describes the relationship between x and y. The table of y equals 4x is the equation. So the table of values is 2, 8, 3, 12, 4, 16, and 520. So which table goes with the table of values is 2, 8, hold on, let me, 2, 8, 3, 12, 520, sorry, 416 and 520, right? You have to match this table, these values with both the graphs, and you have to see which is the correct option. So x is 2, y is 8, x is 3, y is 12, and option number 1 is the correct option, right? Here you have the last value 5 and 20. So option number 1 is the correct option, right? The correct option is option number 1. You just have to match the table of values with the graph. Y equals 6x. So which is the correct option? Option number the correct option, right? Because the graph is starting with 0, 0. So option number 2 is the correct option. The next one is y equals 5x. So which is the correct option? Okay, so you need to match the graph with the table of values. X is 1, Y is 5, X is 2. Option number 2 is the correct one. The equation describes a relationship between X and Y. Y equals 4X. The correct option is Y equals 4X. Option number 1 is the correct option, right? This equation describes a relationship between X and Y. So Y equals 2X, which is the graph. Whenever you have a given relation proportion, the graph always starts from 0, 0, 0, right? So option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. The next one is find the constant of proportionality from a graph. This graph shows how the cost of Alexa's retirement party depends on the number of guests. What is the constant? So basically, you need to find the of the graph, right? So you need to find the slope, right? Let's just start with the test question, then I'll explain how do we calculate the slope. The graph shows how the total number of quizzes Charlie has ever taken in high school depends on the number of weeks he has attended school this quarter. What's the constant of variation? So basically, you need to find the slope, right? So just find any 2 point on the graph like and like this, right? So this point, the coordinates are x is 2, y is 3, and for the 4 and 6, you need to find the slope. So the slope is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, right? So 6 minus 3 is 3, 4 minus 2 is 2. So 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So that means the constant of variation is 1.5 quizzes per week. Got it? The correct option is 1.5. Option number 1 is the correct option. The graph shows how the total number of pieces Paco knows how to sing depends on the number of weeks he takes voice lessons. So you need to find the constant of variation. So just select any 2 points on the graph and calculate the slope. So the first one is 0, and the second one is x is 20 and y is 30, right? Match it to the x-axis and then match it to the y-axis. So that is 20. And so the slope is 2 minus by 1, that is 30 over 20 equals 1.5. The correct option is again 1.5. Option number 1 is the correct option. It's the constant of variation. So which is the correct option? The correct option is you need to find the constant of variation. That means you need to find the slope. So that is 2 kilograms per week. Option number 2 is the correct option. What is the constant of variation, which is the correct option? The correct option is $5 per guest. Option number 2 is the correct option, right? This graph shows how the amount of dough Malia has prepared is related to the number of hours she spent working at it is the constant of variation. So which is the correct option? The correct option is that is 2.50 kilograms per hour. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 8 math. The chapter we are working on is proportional relationships. The lessons we have covered today are find the constant of proportionality from a table, identify graphs of proportional relationship, find the constant of proportionality from a graph. So please make sure before next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session, right? So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9, or either you can join me in the interactive session that would be daily from 4 to 5. Okay, so if you have any question, you can please answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. Okay, that's all for today. See you next session. Bye, everyone.